there's another Whit interviewed. What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy C-Dub, aka Whit, coming at you guys with another Whit interviewed. And this particular individual, he's older than some, not all, but older than some, and he's going to give you guys another perspective. Sit back, relax, and enjoy more from your boy C-Dub, aka Whit. Peace. So beautiful people, we have, as you see right here, this legend, Jacobo Melcer, and hopefully we'll be able to, you guys can hear him clearly. I want to introduce to some and present to others, Jacobo Melcer. Jacobo, thank you,
Hi.
legend, for taking out of your busy schedule to be here at the Rambler with me. How are you doing?
It's an honor.
Oh man, get out of here.
Absolutely.
So I met this gentleman pretty much racing with Padyak Racing Team, and he's just been, you know, a man of open arms. He's coached. He has a lot of accolades that he'll be able to share with you all today, and he's just a phenomenal person. And so I'm honored to have him here on Whit Interviewed and to share his perspective and to share some stories with me as well as you. So let's get right into it. So Jacobo, who are you?
I'm a Mexican,
Yeah.
living now in the United States. I came here in 1983. Before that, I was here in 1962, doing my graduate work here in beautiful San Diego.
Yes. Very beautiful.
There were no Freeway 5 in those years.
Oh, really?
So it was rural town over here. There were orchards in Chula Vista.
Oh my gosh.
Not
Orchards.
streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's me.
Gotcha. All right. So you said you came here for graduate. So what's your profession?
I majored as a physicist in the University of Mexico, National University of Mexico, back in 1962, and then I came for graduate work to a famous institution here called Scripps Institution of Oceanography. But actually, there's another school inside Scripps, which is called the IGPP.
IGPP. Gotcha.
Institute of Geophysics and Planetary Physics.
Oh my gosh.
And I was working there with Dr. Walter Munk and Dr. Groffs, Gordon Groffs, you know, doing my master's degree.
Amazing.
So, and I went back 2 years later with a master's degree.
This guy is a physicist.
In oceanography.
This guy's a physicist. So again, a wide range of professions, a wide range of skills and experiences. And so hopefully we'll get some of those experiences today. That's amazing. So of course, this is a cycling channel. So when and how did you get into cycling?
I was 15 and a half years old, and a friend of mine, his brother, you know, had to collect money from somebody that owed me money. They didn't have money, but they had some assets, and one of the assets was a bicycle. So he gave that bicycle to his brother, which was my friend, and then his friend told me, hey, you know, I sent my bicycle for you know, cleaning and repair, and they can rent a bike for you. Let's go and ride a bicycle.
That's cool.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Before that, I was playing, you know, softball, football, swimming. But then we went out for a ride, a second ride and third ride, and wow, that little worm got into me. I was,
He was bit.
15 and a half years old.
Wow.
And 3 months later, the university games happened in Mexico City, Mexican university games. And the high school I was part of the University of Mexico school system. So when you finish, you had, you know, you just got automatic, you know, entrance to the university.
Nice.
Which is always tough because it's very large and they have hundreds of thousands of students. So anyway, I managed to go and participate in that race, and I won the race. I won the road race.
How did that feel?
They had all kind of things, time trial, etc. But I won the road race. It was 60 kilometers, and I won.
You won.
So the people from the University of Mexico team got into me and say, come on, guy, you need to
Join.
join us.
Yeah.
So I joined the University of Mexico team that has always had a great presence in the cycling community in Mexico. Especially on those years, their team that year won the Vuelta de Mexico. That was a 3-week, stage race, and they won it as a team. And they had a guy that placed second, another guy that placed fifth, another guy that it was only a 4-man team. So
they still placed really good in a 3-week race.
I was a junior, so they were my mentors. My example to follow. That's when I started.
And you had a good example. You had great. Well, first off, you come and you win a road race, a 60-kilometer road race. Then you have pretty much some top of the line mentorship and guys to just inspire you to continue on with your love and your new drawn passion for cycling at the time. And you were just 15 and a half, 16 years old when all this went down?
15 and a half.
Oh my gosh. So again, as you guys saw a few interviews back, we had Pablo Lozano, who started riding when he was 4, but he's currently 17. And so you see there, a lot of guys get into it, and gals get into it when they're young in age. And of course, I'm trying to share that across all the communities. And the beautiful thing about this is that it's not just one ethnicity that can get in cycling and fall in love with it. All right. So with that being said, you told us what your profession is, being a physicist. You told us how you got into cycling. And the next question is, what is your passion?
Okay, today, because it's many decades now after, but
Excuse me.
exercises has always been a passion for me. Since I was very young, I was into exercising.
Exercising, yeah.
I was always a good student. Maybe not the top, but very close to the top.
Gotcha.
And but exercising was always a passion. At the same time, I was doing cycling as a junior. When you live in Mexico City, that valley is surrounded by a couple mountains that are 20,000 feet high, with glaciers on the top. So that's a challenge. So I was 18 years when I did my first, top in one of those mountains.
Oh my God.
And so Mexico in total has 3 peaks that are around 20,000 feet. So exercising, I would say that has been my major passion.
So that kind of, and this is an off the wall question, because meaning that it's not something I have written down, but because exercise has been your passion, with the way of the world today, with everything being at the touch of our fingertips, with video games, how do you feel about that with the youth of today? Even with grown-ups, I mean, everything is touch and go. So growing up and being, passion being exercising and getting out there and doing something and moving, not being sedentary, how do you feel about that today?
Yes, it is kind of antagonist, if I can refer to it like that. But young people, if they get into exercising, into sports, they are going to become passionate about that, and so they're going to spend whatever hour they have to spend running after a ball or whatever. But then the rest of the time they're going to go to the screen.
Understood. So get them
maybe the majority of us.
Right, absolutely. So at least get them into something, and at some point in time in their life, they will be passionate about it. But yet they still may have distractions, video games, so forth and so on, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. But get them into something, because at least at some point in their life, they will be passionate about that. Even though it may grow into other things. That's that's wisdom right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's wisdom. With that being said, Jacobo, if you don't mind sharing with the audience, how old are you?
I'm right now 79, and next March I want to become 80. March 3rd.
March 3rd. Hey, y'all know about that 3, right? March 3rd. And so again, some of these questions are off the wall, and just because I know a little bit about you, this may be far-fetched, but how many crashes have you been in?
I would say an average of 1 every 2 years.
1 every 2 years.
Unfortunately, these last 2 years was 1 every year, and both of them were major.
Yes, and that's why I asked, because I don't want to paint this facade that you can't get hurt in cycling. You can. As you know, as you guys have seen the latest video from CBR Upgrade Experience, I crashed. And you saw at the end of that video, hopefully you did, it said that crashes come with cycling as crying comes with love. And so you heard he says he's had a crash maybe once every 2 years, but he said the past 2 years, he's had 2 crashes that have been pretty big.
But the surgeon told me, you know, as soon as you can jump in the bike, I want you on the bike and start riding because that's going to help you.
Hey, so don't let small little setbacks hold you back. What kind of, the next question would be is what bicycle are you riding?
It's I would say, state-of-the-art carbon fiber, made in Italy, and it's one of those bikes that they make, you know, custom to you. It's, you know, interesting. It's using Italian carbon fiber,
nice.
not Japanese or Chinese, but it's a last generation bike.
Gotcha. What's the name of it, if you don't mind sharing?
Somec.
Somec.
S-O-M-E-C.
Okay, S-O-M-E-C, gotcha.
Yeah, that stands in Italian for Società Meccanica, which is the union of mechanics.
Nice.
And the guy that owns that shop was one of the first mechanics that organized all the mechanics in the big tours. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, he was building the traditional steel frames in the 70s, and he is still in business, doing well. And Somec is very well known.
It's amazing.
You know, I would say.
That's beautiful. So what I'll try to do is down below, or at the bottom of the screen, or even down in the description below, so that you guys can go and check out Somec Bicycles website just to see what they're all about if you're interested. Next question. And you pretty much ride how often? 3 to 4 times a week, maybe?
No, 5 times a week.
5 times a week.
Yeah.
So look, 79, riding 5 times a week. I ain't got no excuses. So you know what I'm saying without saying it. All right. So you mentioned before you had done some races. And as of late, what type of racing do you do?
I haven't raced this year, but mainly the last 3 years I have been focusing on what's called state championship and national championships. At my age, there is very little opportunities to race unless you go and race against the young guys like Whit, and you don't want to do that often. But the only organized races you can find is at a state level. So it was 2 years from now, 2 years ago, the state championship, road race championship was in Bakersfield, and I won it.
Dudes win them left and right. And you also ride the track, correct?
Yes.
So he also is a trackie. So again, he does the road, killing it out there, and he's riding the track. And he's done a plethora of races on both, and he's just killing it on both. Do you have some titles or anything of that nature?
On the track? No. I was training last year to go to the World Championship that happened in LAX. We have a great velodrome in Carson City at LAX, but unfortunately because of my accident, I was left over because the accident happened a month before the race. So I couldn't participate, but I was planning, I was hoping to make podium on that race. You know, and so then now I need to finish recovering this and plan for next year. But
79 years old and still grinding. Look, you ain't too old to get your grind in. Come on, y'all. That's beautiful. So with the road, so you said you've won some. Is there any titles with the road?
My only big titles on the road have been, you know, on state championship. I have won 7 state championships since I came back to riding bicycle as a master, super master now. And at nationals, I have placed a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, but never a national champion.
That's beautiful. But top 10 though, and top 10 is a great performance because top 10 is not easy to get. Alrighty. So I'm doing this poll on the interviewed series of if you like to climb hills or if you like to ride on flats.
I love climbing. I'm good on flats, even I'm a little guy. No power, but I can stay at good pace on flats.
Probably spin like crazy.
But if we start climbing now, I'm in command.
So of course, that's another tally for hills. So it's 5-2 of all the Critwit interviewed of people that love climbing hills. So that says something. Hills have their benefits. All right, moving on to the next one. With all of your riding, and I know this is I'm pulling out of your suitcase here. With all of your riding, what is the number one adventure that you've had with riding a bike?
Wow, I have had two stages in my life. One, when I was very young, I raced until I was 22. Then I had to come to do my masters, and that was the end of my racing career at that time.
Changed, yeah.
And I came back when I was 59. So from my early years, I remember the day I won the nationals as a junior on a road race. It was a 50-kilometer road race. There were like 130 guys there, and at the end there was a 2.5-kilometer climb, and I won it. So that's something I remember. I also remember they chose me to participate in a stage race, a 21-day stage race, and at the 8th stage I had to abandon. So that was a very sad day.
Oh my gosh, that was hard.
Something that I'm not going to really tell you about the reasons why.
Gotcha.
But it was tough. Those years.
It was something you didn't want to do, and we can see that. That was something that the situation made it be what it was, and we're gonna leave it right there. Next question. That's how we're gonna do that right there. So, you kind of alluded to it earlier. What are your 2020 plans or goals? You said something about going to the track and doing that. Is there anything else?
I am preaching at the guys of PRT that most of them are masters. Okay, it's nice to go and race crits, but they need to start focusing that there are those big events. One of them is state championship, national, and then the worlds. So amazing. I hope to go back to San Johan to do, because I'm going to be the rookie on the 80 to 84.
You'll be the rookie, right? With all your years of experience, you'll be the rookie in this one. Last question. With all your years of experience, with you helping out Padyak Racing Team, with you being a very inspirational person to me, every time we see each other, it's always a blessing. What's one thing that you would share with the viewers today concerning cycling or whatever?
If I'm talking about me today, my most important goal in my life today is to stay healthy. I have been lucky at my age. I have some issues, but I don't take any medicine. My blood pressure is almost okay.
That's real good. Yeah.
But I really put all my efforts, my planning for my every day, for the week, for the month, is to continue to stay healthy. And for that, you need will.
You do.
You need a lot of will.
You do.
You need to enjoy what you do. So whatever I plan to add to keep staying, healthy, is something that I'm going to enjoy doing, so I can keep doing it. And of course, I'm in search of the fountain of the eternal youth. So I think we're getting closer.
Yeah, we are.
And exercise is a major component of that, together with sleeping. I'm able to sleep 8 hours a day. That's good.
That's a good point.
I need to stand up sometimes, a couple times.
Like
sometimes I make it all through.
Yeah.
But I would say that exercise, having the right diet, and one thing which is extremely important, December 3rd, I celebrated with my wife our 55th anniversary.
Ooh, okay.
So
55 years.
This is maybe the number one ingredient. No, it's called love, and that's really you have to be in love in life, all your life. and I'm in love for it.
He's touching hearts and minds, and we're gonna leave it with that. Jacobo, thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming and spending this time with me, as well as the Roadrunner family. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for clicking this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. On to the next one with your boy Whit and Jacobo.
It's a blessing to have Crit as a friend. He's a true friend, you know. I have sometimes hard times to recognize faces, but when I hear Crit's voice, Jacobo, he recognizes me wherever I am. So thank you, Crit.
No problem, sir.